And I know that when I came when we were doing the rehearsal for this last, we were going through the questions of what we were going to ask. Your staff were all out on consultation training on that day, and that's something that you do regularly. How regularly do you do that?
Absolutely. I mean, they just get absolutely sick of it. But again, I think it's, you know, sometimes I think you can despair when you have a team of staff, and I know some of you will just know what I mean when I'm saying this, that you just have to you think, I've said that 15 times, we've done it, I'm having to say it again, I can't believe I'm having to say it again, I can't believe we're going through the same thing. But sometimes it's just, you just must just retrain and retrain and retrain until they're so sick of it that they just will just not run the risk of not doing what you want them to do. Yeah. Really important.
And consultation training, it does have a massive impact on them when they come back to the salon. Do you notice that?
Absolutely, and I think what's really nice for this team as well, and it's hard obviously because times are quite hard, but if you don't, you know, if you don't retrain your staff and invest in that, it really does show. And it's nice for them to get out away from the shop floor and just then to come back in and see things fresh. Okay. So it's really important for me.
Okay, let's move on to the first numbers one. This is one that you love, I know.
Statistics.
Yeah, any
statistics
stats.
Junkie.
Do you analyse and track your business performance in all areas and manage and act on what you monitor? So what areas do you track, and how do you monitor it then?
We just track everything. I mean, because I think you just have to. One of the things that frustrates me the most is, you know, if you're not that good on doing your books, which let's face it, some of us aren't, you send them off, you take them off to get your books done at the end of the year, and they bring them back to you, and you're 9 months on, and you can't change anything because your stock costs in March 06 were 2 years ago, so you can't do anything about it. So for me, you just have to track everything with your team. So we track new clients that they do, the percent of those clients that ask for them next time. We track how much of their time is booked. We track their average bill, you know, absolutely everything. And that, you know, if you're down, and let's face it, times are really tough for us all at the moment. I don't believe anyone who says that things are fine. They're not. But you need to know why. You can't just say, I'm 10% down. You need to know which bit of you is 10% down, and who is 10% down, and who has made you 10% down, so you can then change things. And if you don't dig and delve a bit and track it all down, you can't see the wood for the trees.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the things that probably most of our audience would say is that you probably are a real statistics junkie.
Yes, I get off on statistics.
But people are terrified of figures. So what would you say to people who fall into that camp?
I'd say, you know, you have to find a way that you can, I think, for a start, you have to do it every day. Because if you do it every day and you split it down and you break it down, then come the end of the week, it's not that much of a chore just to add up 5 or 6 days. And it's great, and it tells you your whole week. And then if you do that every day and you do it every week, then you can do it every month. And if you do it every month, you can do it every year. Yeah. So it's just a case of just take the time just to spend that little bit of time every day and work out, you know, if you took X amount, how did you take it? Who took what? What's up and what's down? And once you start, then you can compare to last year. Then you can see in a nutshell where you are. And if you don't do that, you just can't see it.
And a lot of people, I think, rely on their accountant, and they kind of get all their figures back in a box from them, and that's how they deal with it every year. And you would say that's totally the wrong thing to do.
You can't do that because they don't care. They don't care about your trade half as much as you do. And by the time they've done their bit and looked at all their thing, you know, you're sort of 9 months towards the end of your last year, and it's just you can't act on things so late. Yeah. So you just have to take responsibility for it. I mean, we always have this joke at work, you know, if I give my husband a pen, a piece of paper, it just goes, well, you know, he doesn't know what to do with them. But, you know, well, find a way that you can track things then. Find something that works for you, or find someone in your team that likes doing that and give them that job.
He's not good with pen and paper. He's not bad with a pair of scissors, though.
He's not bad with a pair of scissors. Not bad.
You're right.
Not bad.
You're right. Okay. So this leads us on really nicely, because obviously if you've tracked everything, then you can identify your core strengths and your core services. So it'd be nice to have some feedback from you on what you've identified as your core services and what you've developed after tracking and analysing your performance. So tell us about that.
Well, I think, again, when I run my course, one of the first things I say is, what is the best selling thing that you do in your spa? And if you don't know that, why not? You know, you should always know what your real strengths are. And I also think you should spend more time trying to strengthen your strengths than you should on your weaknesses. You know, if you become known for doing something really well and that becomes one of your strengths, then don't try and say, oh yeah, but let's try and get that up and let's try and get that up. Say, right, this is what we're known for doing well. So it's, you know, this is what it sort of feels right as being the sort of the best thing that we are known for. Let's promote that. Let's make that even stronger. And I think you can get so hung up on your weaknesses. You know, I mean, we in our spa, we've only got 3 rooms, so we can't do lots of things. But what we can do well, you know.
So give us some examples of some things that you've tracked and realised that actually you need to invest more time and more love in them to sort of strengthen the strengths. Give us some examples of kind of products.
Well, I think when we were sort of we've been in business 16 years now. And when we started off, it was 1992. The recession was sort of full blown. It was just the worst time. We were losing £5,000 a week, which in those days was a lot of money, and we had to do something quite quickly. And after a few years, I sort of decided that we had these 4 treatment rooms upstairs, that I was going to turn them into this fabulous spa, and I had these dreams of it being like a Champneys and a, you know, whatever. And actually, you know what? People didn't want to know. They didn't want to come into us for things like that, because they want to go to a health spa for things like that, where they can swim and they can go in rooms and have mud thrown at them and things like that. We asked our clients, again, we said to our clients, okay, we got it wrong. What do you like to come for us for? Well, we like to come for you for your waxing is fantastic. We like having our nails done, perhaps while our hair's being done. And this is what we're going to come to you for, and this is what you do well. So that from that day on, I just thought all of that sort of spa-y type route wasn't right for us.
Yeah.
But again, I only knew that because I asked them, you know, and they told me.
And also, you've done this great kind of reinvention of hair extensions recently as well. So you've kind of learned how to.
Well, hair extensions. I mean, you know, we've got 75 staff, and it was big trade for us. You know, when Posh had her hair extensions in, it was good bucks. And of course, now that sort of changed a bit, and that whole hair extension things is a little bit old hat now. But what we have done, we've sort of said, right, okay, well, let's change the way we use these. And what some of our well-known clients, I can't tell you who, because I know you want to know, will have done to make their hair, and you would never guess that they had hair extensions, but they'll just have a few sort of wefts put in at the back to make their hair look, you know, nice and thick. So if they've got even short hair bobs, things like that, just that sort of line of hair extensions at the back. So we just sort of thought, right, well, that's a whole new way to go with this. And we don't have to knock that on the head. We can just find a new way of doing it. And that's actually built up really well now.
That's good. Okay, we're moving on to team. I'm not clicking. I am clicking. I don't know, I guess when we get to the bottom of the screen, it goes on to another screen if you go over there. It's exciting. Okay, so this is about tracking team performance and rewarding and incentivizing them. Now, you have a really interesting way of incentivizing your team, which you might want to explain to people how you do that.
Yes, I mean, one of the things that winds me up more than anything is being told, aren't you proud of me because my payroll costs are 1/3 of my turnover? And I just think, no, that's you can't, you know, if your payroll costs are that low, you can't be paying well. And my payroll costs are 64% of my turnover. And it doesn't matter what I do, I can't get it lower than that. And it's because of the way we pay our staff. Although they're all employed, they get a basic wage or X amount of what they take. And that all depends on their where they are in the price tier. Yeah. So my really good ones can be on half, and my young ones can be on sort of 27%. and that sort of gives them a goal to work through the price tier.